Season 10, Episode 16 of The Walking Dead. I really like this episode, even though it was supposed to air back in April. We got it in the beginning of October. It was part of a 2-episode night, piggybacked, of course, by the premiere of Walking Dead The World Beyond, which we'll touch on later on in this video. I just really want to get through a few things here. The plan by the survivors, use the wagon to lure the walkers away, was something that we've seen before, but it was very cool. I really like the use of this song. You know, a little bit of Talking Heads, Burning Down the House. A great choice. And it was very cool. And the eventual failings of the plan, you know, they got overtaken by the Whispers. They're, you know, pushing the walkers up, getting shot with the arrows, and they just keep advancing. You knew a couple of those people were going to die because you had, you know, 2 characters on there who were basically ancillary. The one guy with the shield. I'm like, who's this? Oh, yeah, he's like basically a red shirt in Star Trek. Beta, his role during this episode was also a very nice closure to Ryan Hurst's time on the show. His death was very epic. The 2 knives to the eyes. And if you watched, spoiler alert, by the way, if you watched Talking Dead afterwards, Norman Reedus and him described how they did the scene and Norman wanted to do it, you know, kind of jumping 2 knives into the eyes, which really worked because Beta's a massive guy. And yeah, that Negan, of course, making his appearance. It wasn't a long fight, but it was kind of an epic end for the character of Beta. You know, and Negan coming in with, at the last second. And it really shows the difference between comic Negan and show Negan. Show Negan is nowhere near physically as imposing as comic Negan. Because comic Negan was very tough. He was very strong. I'm not saying that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character isn't, but it's just in a different way. It's nowhere near as physical of a character as he was in the comics. Like I said, he was much more physically imposing than he was in the show. So we got to see Eugene, Princess, the King, Ezekiel, and Yumiko going on their quest to meet with Stephanie, representative of the Commonwealth, whom Eugene met over the radio. Which, the end of that, like I said, spoiler alert, the end of that with the Commonwealth soldiers, which I'll show right here, they were so comic accurate. I literally was like giddy. I'm like, oh my God, they look so cool. Now, and I talked about this on the show last night, which was the fact that I was kind of taken back by the fact that they have all white uniforms. You know, like I said, it's comic accurate, and I was I'm always appreciative of things that are comic accurate to the Walking Dead books because I love those. But no, the all white uniforms kind of are they throw me off because I understand for inside the Commonwealth, but like patrolling outside, you know, the walkers not so much as the other people who might see, you know, you stick out like a sore thumb wearing those bright white uniforms. But like I said, it's a fictional world, so trust me, I broke a lot of the scenarios down in this show, and they just are not plausible in reality. But that's the beauty of escapist entertainment. So let's see, what else did we have in this episode? We have Lauren Ridloff, Connie, waking up in the woods. She, of course, crosses paths with Virgil, who, you know, Michonne helped out, and as he went to made his way to Oceanside, and he happened to cross Connie, who it's good to see Lauren Ridloff back. Because we didn't really get closure for her, and everybody's been asking, you know, where's Connie? Where's Connie? Kelly did a wonderful job this episode, too, with the Walker mask and, you know, hanging in with Daryl. And the plan to take out the Whispers within the herd was very well executed in a very cool way to end this conflict in the Whisper War and that arc and kind of lean into the final act of this show, which is the Commonwealth. And I like Daryl's leadership in this. And speaking of leadership, we got Maggie back, and she came bearing the gift of basically like a ninja. Is he supposed to be like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe? Because he's very cool looking, doesn't say anything. I was like, for my first thought was like Snake Eyes. But he does a number on the walkers in the woods. I believe it was Alden, and I can't remember who else they saved. But yeah, and then, you know, Maggie and him come in and bail out Father Gabriel, who I thought was going, I was like, this is it for Father Gabriel, because we know he got hooked on the rope, the comics, Beta slit his throat, and, or slit his gut. I can't remember, but he got eaten that way. So that was Gabriel's end in the comics. In the show, you think he's going to go out heroically, one last stand against the door with the 12 gauge, and all of a sudden, he gets overtaken. You think he's going to die, and here comes here comes Storm Shadow and Maggie, and that was a great reunion with Maggie and Father Gabriel, and also Judith and Maggie too. Very touching moment. Maggie doesn't even acknowledge that RJ is there. He's such an afterthought. I honestly feel bad for Rick and Michonne's son RJ, because he is an afterthought. Like, you don't ever see anything. But honestly, I'm glad that he's there, but he's not like the focus. Like, Judith was a focus. Like, I don't want to see that anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, we've raised two counting Carl, but Carl was like 10 when it started. So I did enjoy seeing how that progressed, but it's like, I just don't need to see kid after kid grow up, because that will lead into the next show, which is, of course, The World Beyond, and that's, we have the kids in there. So we'll talk about that, like I said, in a little bit. Still more I want to talk about in this finale. The undoing of the plan with the wagon, the whispers, taking out. That was very neat. Our survivors got away, except for like one, but and then they kind of regroup. Beatrice met her end, and I haven't spoke about Carol yet. When they broke off to do their plan, which was to assemble this speakers on the wagon. Each of them had a part in a backpack. Carol had told Lydia to stay there. Her and Beatrice went out, and you knew there was a couple people. Like, Daryl even said, we're not all going to make it through this. So, everybody just accepted it. And Beatrice was the one, one of the whisperers saw her. They were found out. It was a great scene. She stabbed them. She got stabbed, got taken down. And the archers shooting the whispers in the crowd out the window before Beta redirected the walkers was really cool too, because you could see the whispers closing in on their survivors, and all of a sudden, whap, arrow, and they scream and they get eaten. So Beta saw all his troops falling around him, so he called an audible. So it was very well done. This Greg Nicotero did a great job of directing. The writing in this episode was good. I really didn't have. I'm trying to think. I really didn't have any complaints about it. It was cool. It was a good finale. Was it worth the wait since April? I mean, I want to say yes. I wish we would have got the episode in April, but it wasn't finished yet. No, and then, like I said, this was just another great finale in a line of them by Greg Nicotero, who does premieres and finales for the show. And he's the man is a master. And all the walkers look great in the herd. From what we saw, they surrounded the hospital. It was cool. It was just a very cool episode that is going to lead into the final season. And like I said, that final scene with Ezekiel and Princess, Yumiko and Eugene, and they're kind of laughing. She's here, one horny dude to Eugene, which is like basically Eugene's entire journey has been trying to find a woman, and he connects with Stephanie, so they kind of made a joke out of that. And then out comes the Commonwealth soldiers, and it was like, oh, and now we're going to have to wait until next year for more episodes, because we have the 6 episodes that are going to bridge between season 10 and the final season, season 11, and then a 24-episode final season. One can only hope that this stupid pandemic doesn't interfere with our show anymore. And also the Rick Grimes movies, which, with the state of Hollywood in the movie theaters right now, who knows what's going to happen with those. I just want to spend a couple minutes talking about The Walking Dead, The World Beyond. Overall, I gave this episode a 7.5. I'll say 7.5 out of 10. For a finale. I pretty much didn't have any complaints about it, but I'm not going to give it, a higher mark than I think it deserves. Excuse me, I'm getting ready to go into work here. So I wanted to get this video out and done real quick for you guys. But no, I think that this was a good episode, solid pacing. The World Beyond. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't care about the characters. They're boring to me. They are just, I don't know. I don't like it. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the fact that it's a diverse cast, because it is. So, kudos to them if that's what they were going for. But I don't care about them. I watched the episode twice, and I don't care. I think the CRM is very cool looking. The weapon, their weapons with their bayonet style at the end of the rifles. They're very stylized, militaristic looking, very regimented. It looks cool. And then they wipe out this campus colony already. Like right at the end of the episode, you look at it and they've just like wiped everybody out. It's like there was 9,000 people there. So, five helicopters. They said the girl said they brought 5 helicopters. So they wiped out 9,000 people. They just wiped out an entire colony. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. I get vibes of a cross between the governor and kind of like some Negan-esque from the Elizabeth, I think her name is, I don't know, that runs the CRM. She's like one of their generals or whatever. But I don't know. I just, it wasn't very, I don't care what happens to these characters. You've already told me there's only 20 episodes, so it's like, I really don't care. I'll watch it, but I have a feeling it's going to be as bad as Fear the Walking Dead was when we had the Pine Saw lady going around killing everybody. So A World Beyond, the premiere, I gave this a 4 out of 10. And I'm being very generous there. I didn't like the color patterns. I didn't like the pacing, the characters. There was bad acting. Just not a great outing for a premiere. No, like I said, they wipe out an entire colony. It's like, we're going to rebuild civilization by killing 9,000 people. Doesn't make any sense to me. Stupid writing. And I don't like it at all. So that being said, what do you guys think? You let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also, do all the YouTube things like bitch slap that like button, share the video, subscribe today. I've lost a subscriber for some reason, I don't know, but let's get this up to 350. We're at 341 at the time of the video, so give me a hand, get up to 350, and stay tuned because tomorrow you have a Friday the 13th part 2 review coming out. Next week you'll have part 3 and 4, plus you're getting a Lost video this week, a few more videos I'll put out, and some pop culture stuff, obviously some news, and then I have a special video collaboration with Flipped Out that I'm working on. So stay tuned for all that and more right here. I'm Itapokui, the place to be reviews. I've been here with all of yous. And remember, if I don't see you, have yourselves a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.